You know, recently I've noticed that when AAA game studios try to sell you on their product, they talk to you like they're a pimp, trying to sell you on their hooker. Just like a pimp would, they keep going on and on about how great their product looks and it'll be a great experience. But once you've been sold on their pitch and bought their product, come to realize those nice graphics are just there to cover up how dog shit the experience really is. And, I guess the bugs in the games would be the hookers STDs, but the analogy is going on for too long. Point is, game companies just cannot stop focusing on making things bigger and better instead of actually making meaningful improvements to the games or their formula. Every game needs to be more bombastic, push ahead of the competition, and reach such a level of realism that you can count every pube on a horse's balls. Yet, they always seem to fail, no matter how much bigger and better looking they might be compared to previous entries or other competing games. AAA studios seem to be unable to accept their failures. Instead, they keep on pushing out failure after failure, hoping it'll catch on with the general audience one day. They just can't understand that no matter how lifelike their games are, that doesn't make up for a lack of soul put into their games.
And it's our biggest one yet. It is 4 times the size of Fallout 4. And this time it features all new rendering, lighting, and landscape technology. It allows us to have 16 times the detail and even view distant weather systems across the map. I read on the internet that our games have had a few bugs. All of this just works. I'm not kidding.
And the Game Award goes to Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3. Congratulations, Larian.
And the game of the year is Baldur's Gate 3.
Who's laughing now? Yes, I was in the chess club.
I'm not that much of an art guy, but there is one piece of painting that always stuck around with me, and that's the Starry Night. The Starry Night is my favorite painting of all time. I love how the sky flows around all the stars and the moon, which brings about a pleasant glow to the city, which fills me with a hopeful and satisfying feeling. I have found other pieces of art that do carry the same concept of depicting a starry night, but depict it in their own unique ways. One example is a panel from one of my favorite mangas, Pun Pun. This is one of my favorite panels from the manga, both for its amazing details, but also for the symbolism it holds in the story. But the feelings I get from this piece isn't the same type of feeling I get from the Starry Night. The Starry Night, as I've come to realize, it brings about a unique feeling in me that no other piece of art can or will be able to replicate. I think I will have to stop my search for an art piece that brings me a similar feeling as the Starry Night. While I am a little bit unsatisfied that I can't get the same feeling again from a different piece of art, it's not like you can just make the Starry Night 2, you know? The Starry Night 2. It's got a nice ring to it. I think that kid was onto something at the end. This is a painting made in 1889. We could modernize it and make it better, more realistic. I can already see how happy that kid and all the other fans of this painting will be when we bring them a bigger, better version of something they already love. I mean, all the fans of my video games love my remasters, so all of Van Gogh's fans will be the same as well. There's so much money to be made. The original is estimated to be worth well over $100 million, so the sequel is sure to make even more. I might just be the smartest studio around. Damn, I need some breast milk right about now. Let me call Blizzard, they'll give me some.
6 months later.
What the fuck is this? Hey, you're just the guy I've been looking for. heard you talking about your problem last week, and I've decided to solve it for you. You're welcome. Look, it's the modern reimagining of your favorite product. Now give me $70. This isn't what I wanted. Of course it is. It's literally a bigger and better version of the Starry Night. Why are you complaining like I didn't just do you a favor? But you didn't. Like, the details might be a little bit better, but the style is now bastardized. You've lost the atmosphere, the soul of the painting. Bullshit. I literally put into the ChatGPT script to copy the same style as the original. And also, what do you mean by soul? It's a product, not a living thing? Not that I don't consider living things products as well. You looking to buy a Tibetan Mastiff by any chance? I dog breed on the side. You can't just make major changes to everything and still think that the style's preserved. That's like if I was doing a ballet dance, but I added moves like doing the worm, or I put on tap dance shoes in the middle of it. I mean, just look at how much people make fun of and complain about Call of Duty's multiplayer nowadays because of how much random bullshit skins and emotes they add to the cash shop. I often see people complain about wanting to go back to old COD and their multiplayer, which kept the tone of the campaign with the tone of the multiplayer. I know you companies hate this term, but the cognitive dissonance of both modes has made people very fatigued with the franchise. The Starry Night Sky isn't just a product. When Van Gogh was making the Starry Night Sky, he wasn't thinking of how he could most effectively sell their product or best way to cost save. He was putting his feelings, his soul into his work. You can't just make the same thing but in a different context. You replicating the Starry Night Sky using AI won't be the same as Van Gogh locked up in an asylum looking out at night at his city. A singer making a song soon after a breakup with the strong desire to express themselves will carry a different feeling or soul to it due to their personal context. If you just gave another singer the task of making a sequel to the original song, it's not gonna hit the same because of the different circumstances and purpose around its creation. God, I mean, just look at what happened with the Saints Row series. The studio just would not let the series go and kept getting new people to keep on producing the series, but they just kept getting worse, slowly losing the soul of the franchise. It all finally accumulated into a final last gamble of trying to reboot the series to save the studio, but it totally failed because the series completely lost touch with what a Saints Row game was supposed to be. The studio just could not accept taking the risk of making a new franchise that would really let the workers try new ideas and concepts which could bring their passion back for making games. I mean, the writing was terrible anyways, so it probably wouldn't have done good, but they could have at least had more of a chance than just rebooting the series. And listen, this isn't to say that you can't put your own original spin on an existing product. The best example of a reboot done right is Doom 2016. The game kept the original core concept of how a Doom game is supposed to be like, while also adding new mechanics and a much needed upgrade to its graphics. But if your company's heart truly isn't put into making your games the best it can be, I promise you, the audience can really feel it during their experience. Are you even listening right now? Okay. This is a lot of talking and not enough buying. Look, you and a couple other losers can throw a tantrum and cry all you want, but I still have a bunch of other fans that will enjoy my new products. Okay? Stop being so difficult and just let people enjoy things. I'm too busy to argue with someone in a lower tax bracket, so I'll be off. Look at your revenue. Why? So you can see just how much I'm winning by catering to the general audience. Take a look. Why is it negative? Why is no one supporting my product? It's a bigger and better version of something they love, so it should be earning way more than this. Okay. Going realistic and modernizing your franchises satisfies no one. There's a reason most new games or remasters that push just how realistic they now look or how they modernize the game end up failing or doing disappointingly.
So, I'm non-binary. What does that mean?
Old fans of remasters can tell when a remake is just a soulless cash grab and they aren't being catered to anymore. The old fans will now either ignore your new remasters or go to other competitors. But I know in your mind, that's fine, because you'll find new and bigger audiences with your new games. That was the plan, so where are they? You companies still don't seem to get it. The general audience isn't a target that's attainable. It's a white whale. What? You can keep on chasing the general audience, but you'll never be able to actually capture it. You might be able to hook it every once in a while if you're lucky, which will bring you a lot of short-term success, but you'll never be able to actually capture it on the line for any substantial amount of time. Lucky for you, that white whale does have other types of fish following right beside it that have different preferences, so if the main product is similar to the old product, you should still be able to capture the same types of fish. Maybe even more fish if you improve upon the bait. But you didn't improve upon the old product. You made it taste worse and unappealing. Now, you're left with nothing. I saw so much support for our decisions. So many people were defending us and still are. They want to enjoy our products. They even said so. It's because of people like you who keep on hating on us that it's making things worse for us. I'm done wasting my time with you. I might have failed this time to keep them for the long term, but I am on the right track. They gave me so much support and positive reactions. They even defended me on Twitter. I bet if I invest even more into our AI tools, I'll finally be able to capture the general audience. Jamie, I'm coming to the office right now. Invest $100 million into new data centers. They'll never get it. They will never listen to me, but they will listen to you all. These gaming companies keep on chasing the general audience, the white whale of the industry. Because they have that target in mind, they have to design their games around the general audience. The controls can't be too complicated because the general audience enjoys casual games. The story needs to be simple enough that most people don't need to pay attention to the game because the general audience is usually watching something in the background or busy. The style needs to be something that the general audience will find pleasant and won't be unappealing, so the obvious answer is realistic graphics. No one has a problem with realistic graphics because life isn't pixelated, cartoony, or fantastic. It's real, simple, and boring. And so, you are now left with an unproblematic game that has simple mechanics, a simple story, and simple realistic graphics. Companies believe that this game design to be the perfect recipe for obtaining a large audience and lots of money, but time and time again, history has shown that any general audience they do attract will inevitably leave and end up chasing the next game that appeals to them, now lacking any unique or charming points to them that would lead people to become long-term fans of their products. I might not be able to convince these companies that their ways are wrong, but I still believe I can make you, the audience, change your ways. Yes, you watching this video right now are also part of the problem as well. Whether you want to believe it or not, you are a part of that general audience that these companies are trying to appeal to. They do pay attention to where the money goes and how much the audience is vocally defending them. So I ask you to please stop supporting these soulless games. Stop defending games you might enjoy from being criticized, and please spend those $70 you might have spent on these lazy games and instead spend it on games made by smaller studios that really put their own passion and soul into creating their games. I think the industry has slowly started to understand that the very safe and modern games they've been releasing lately, like Concord and Highguard, they're always gonna fail because at the core of those games, like their gameplay and story, they're very plain, boring, and unpassionate. You can't feel any soul being put into these games. But many recent titles like Expedition 33 and Silksong have proven to the industry that games that don't try to cater to the general audience but stand confidently on their own 2 feet, believing in their own unique style, gameplay, and passion that they will succeed, end up winning against these AAA studios. It's up to us to support these games that genuinely do deserve your support, and stop accepting or saying the term, "just let people enjoy things, dude." Companies and their products deserve to be criticized, no matter how much you or other people really do enjoy it. If no one is allowed to voice their opinions because people enjoy said product, then there's going to be no need for the studio to improve upon itself, and you won't be able to buy better products in the future. Be pretentious again. If enough of you are, maybe one day, these failing companies will find the passion and heart to put their souls back into their games. Hey, so this is just going to be a quick thank you message for sticking around till the end. I think for my second video on the channel, this video turned out really good. I hope to make even better content in the future, so if you are interested in that, I would be grateful if you were to subscribe and like this video. Would appreciate it a lot. That's about it, so see you bozos later. Peace.